Welcome back. In this session we're going to talk about Checklist. Checklist is our project management tool. Actually, and I don't know whether you know that term or not, it is actually a Kanban board. And what is a Kanban board? A Kanban board is a board on which you put tasks in 3 columns. You have your to-do column, you have your in progress column, and last you have all the items you're done with. In the first video I explained that when you create an event and don't select the option to start from a blank canvas, that we will pre-fill your event based on the type of event you're organizing. So we did choose for the product launch type of event, and what you will see over here is that we indeed pre-filled your checklist with all tasks that are interesting for organizing a product launch. There are many different type of events. You need to work on your budget, you need to write a briefing, you will need to decide whether you will organize the event yourself or hire an event agency, for example. But there are also tasks like, for example, find an event venue. And like I explained in the beginning, because you did set in this case, we did set Antwerp as our location for the event. If I now click on find an event venue, let's do that, you will see that the software automatically selects all possible venues in Antwerp for you. Let's go back to the event software and the checklists. What you can do over here is obviously you can add tasks, send out invitations. I'll also enter a description here. It can be whatever you want, all the information on the event. You can set the priority of the event. It can be low priority, medium or high priority. Let's say this is a high priority thing. Okay, typically we set the progress in to do, but it is also possible that you create a task for something that's already in progress, so you can select over here. You can also select a category. What type of task is this? Sending out invitations is like a marketing task. And you can set a due date. For example, our event was on the 20th of February, so mid-January we want to send out the invitations. And at the bottom right, there's also a drop-down where you can assign the task to somebody in your team. In this case, since I'm the only one in the account, and we will come to that when we are talking about the contacts functionality, but if you have multiple contacts in here, you can assign tasks to other people just by clicking on the drop-down, select their name and add task. A task typically gets added at the bottom of the page. But if you want, if it's more important, you can just with drag and drop put it somewhere else in the list. You also see there is a delete all tasks link at the bottom. That's only when you just created an event. Let's say, for example, you created an event, you asked us to pre-fill, or you forgot to check the start from a blank canvas checkbox. You can still delete all the tasks here, but from the moment you start working with the tool, that link will disappear just for security reasons, so you don't delete all your important tasks. You can also open a task. I can click the edit button and then I can click on delete. Also, for example, to delete this task, I get asked, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure, and the task gets deleted. So even if you start with a pre-filled list, you can really start customizing, changing different tasks, so it really fits what you want to do. And like I said in also the first lesson we had together, is you can also start from a previous event, and then your list is already here. Obviously, we will place all the done tasks back in to do, because you still need to do them then for the next event, but you can start from a template you already had. I can drag this into progress. So this task is now into progress. I can have multiple into progress. I can have some in done. And you get a point. You will see that it is the goal to get all your tasks from the left column to the right column, the done column. Now let's maybe add another contact. We will go into that later, but it will allow me to show you some additional information. So I'll add somebody of our own company. If you start typing a name, there will also be a drop down where you can select the company if we already know the company, because there are a lot of event companies on the platform. Let's say Klaas will be my colleague working on this project. I add an email address for him, eventplanner.net. Over here, and we will talk about that extensively later, about the access rights you can give, but for now I will give him access to the checklists. I'll add Klaas to the account. Klaas will now get an invitation to join me working on this project. We'll come to that in the last video of this series, but for now we have a second person working on the project. So if I go back to the checklist, I can now, for example, assign this task to Klaas. So Klaas is responsible for handling this. And what is really fun is on the top you can also filter. So let's say give me all tasks for Klaas. So you see he only has one task to do. If I want to clear the filter, just click the X sign and okay, there everything is back. Typically what you will be doing is select your own name, show me all the tasks I need to do, but yeah, you can remove it so you can see everything you want to see. You typically use the project management software. Yeah, you can use it when you're working alone on a project, but again, it's more powerful if you work together. And it is also possible to give comments on tasks or maybe add files to a task. Just click on the comments link or the name of the task, and then you go to a task detail page. So adding an attachment is quite easy. Just drag and drop to the comment text field, and voila, the attachment, now just a picture of myself, but whatever file you have, you can drop over here, you can share with the team, and just click on send. What you now see is that we shared my comment with everybody having access to this task. You see that also the file is uploaded. You will also see when you just uploaded the file that there is a mention that the file is being processed. That's because we are doing also some virus scanning and so on every file. But from the moment it went to the scanners, it is released and everybody can download that file, so you can share it with your colleagues. And then a colleague can, again, comment on the same ticket. What I find very interesting sometimes is some tasks have multiple steps to complete and then what I sometimes do is just put in a comment, number 1, do this, number 2, do that, and so on, and then you can say, okay, now this is done, and I put some icon in front of it. But it's a very easy way to share progress, to share thoughts on a specific task. If you want to go back, click just on the budget link, and we're back on the checklist or the Kanban board, like you want to call it. What I also need to tell you about contacts in this episode is that you can set rights at different levels, like I told you already before. Let's go back to Klaas now. There are a few things that influence what people can do with, for example, the checklists. The first one is you can give read access, means can read all the tasks but can't change anything or can't comment anything. If I give comment access, that means someone can be commenting on tasks but can't change the tasks itself. Manage access will give full rights, so they can also delete tasks, edit tasks, and so on. And a very interesting feature is the checkbox only your own tasks. And that's a feature we've built for privacy and in Europe GDPR legislations. So it is possible, let's say you work with an external catering partner. You want to give that catering partner access to your checklists and the call sheets, for example. And let's say I also give access to call sheets, but I only want to give access to their own assigned items. For example, I assign the task to Klaas. By checking the only own items checkbox, Klaas will see his own tasks, but not other tasks. That also means that when Klaas changes the assignee of a task to me, that task will go out of his list, obviously. Over here you also see that the invitation is still pending. Klaas didn't respond yet. And after some time, for example, if he didn't receive the invitation or whatever, after some time this button will change to resend the invitation. So basically, if we go back to the checklist tool, I explained to you how to add task, how to change the progress of a task, how to assign people to a task, how to add comments, upload attachments to them, and having privacy and GDPR laws in mind when giving people access. So this is a very powerful project management software. Will be adding new features, like I said in the first video, on a regular basis, but basically this is what you need to get your event managed.